part 6. So like I said, Ed Hodes, people bought their males from Ed and usually got their females from Linda Valentine. That's how it kind of was done. I saw a lot of litters in the city, wasn't impressed, and looked in a Dog World magazine and found Linda Salino. Me and James Coleman went to her house and was blown away. She gave us a brief history, and I got my first Corso from her, which was Judea, which was a pointed Corso. And Judea is not a Rottweiler cross, she's not a Doberman. Her father was a Farmentino dog named Drago, and her mother was the famous Lamaya dog. Lamaya was a beautiful blue brindle dog that was winning in dog shows. Very nice looking dog. That made me want to get a Corso too, watching that dog in magazines and books. So it was like a pleasure to actually get a puppy from that dog, which I did, which was Judea. And then we saw Ficaro, which is a mean son of a gun. And he bred into a dog named Cajun Moon, which was Sonia's mother. And that's basically the foundations of our dogs. We bred into Cane. Cane is a Zell son. And yo, that was the beginning of Rottweil's kind of Corsos back then. Actual fact. And we're in the database because a lot of our first productions, well, you know, a lot of dudes' foundation dogs. That's an actual fact. So I didn't get to finish. I know I got incarcerated, so I didn't get to finish what we was trying to accomplish. I wish I was around because the dogs would have been kept pure. Already had the eye already and already knew which direction I wanted to go in with the dogs. But nevertheless though, the Rottweiler situation happened, and even bred the Rottweilers, the dogs still produced Corso. It happened in 95 or 94. Mike Jr., Mike Sr. is dead now. Mike Jr., he has a friend, and his friend breeds Rottweilers, champion Rottweilers, these are top-notch dogs, and Corsos. So he used to let his dogs run free range. And when the dogs do that, the dogs start packing up like wolves. And so they would establish an alpha male and an alpha female. And just like wolves, only the alphas are supposed to breed. But just like in the wolf pack too, that sometimes the suburbians will breed. So they would have these big litter of puppies, but nobody would know who's the mama and who's the daddy. So with that being said, Mike tells early enthusiasts, he tells Ed Hodes, allegedly, I'm gonna say, because I wasn't near. So any story like that, I'm gonna say allegedly. So allegedly, he told Ed Hodes, he told Tony Scandy, because they were all friends at this time, and a few other early enthusiasts. So they went over there and they picked out dogs. They didn't pick out the black and tan ones. They picked out fawn colored dogs. But again, nobody knew if they was half Corso or if they was pure Corsos. Nobody knew. So with that being said, they took the dogs. Nugget did come out of that. People say, they claim that Nugget is a half Rottweiler. To be honest with you, and I asked Mike Jr. this personally, when me and Mike was friends, Mike Jr. told me he is not for sure certain. This is what he told me. This is what he told me. So with that being said, because also, let's go back to Hubbard's book. if these dogs are descended from these earlier Corsos, they said a Sicilian Bicharo can look like a German Rottweiler. It did say that. It did say that. Now, there's a lot of controversy up in the air because a dog named Numero Uno, if you look at him, and he's an earlier Corso specimen, he's like second generation, he looks like a Rottweiler. He's like brindle pointed, but his facial looks like a German Rottweiler, like dead image, except that we know that German Rottweilers don't have that brindling points. But with that being said, though, there's no way of really knowing. And that's the truth of the matter. That is the truth of the matter. I've never seen a dog in person. I've seen puppies of his, and they didn't look like Rottweilers. I've never seen the dog in person, but I've seen his production. They look like Corsos. Also, in fairness, I'm going to say, with Nugget, to me, he doesn't look like a Rottweiler cross. With a Rottweiler and a Corso is concerned, both of these dogs are Molossus. Any dog in the spectrum of Molossus dogs, there are going to be characteristics that are going to be the same or similar to. So, for instance, a lot of the Ochaka dogs and the Central Asian dogs, some of them look like Corsos. And if you look at some of the Corso heads, and even in Italy, they're going to look like Rottweilers. Rottweiler was a reconstruction breed in the early 1900s. Belgian Mastiff went in it. The Greater Swiss and the Great Burmese went in it. Go research. This is why some Rottweilers come out with the shaggy coat. The longer coat is because of the Great Burmese. Sometimes they come out with the white on the chest a little bit, which was permitted in the beginning, but they stopped. Or in the paws, or on the chin, a little bit on the muzzle. The Greater Swiss or the Burmese. And those dogs are Panace's descendants. When the Romans went into Europe and they went over the Alps, they left their dogs behind. And in war, just like in the Vietnam War, which was foul of the United States, this is how that red dog over there in China got produced. Let me give you a story. When they went over there, they brought German Shepherds, they brought Doberman Pinschers, Malinois, and Retrievers over there. And when the war ended, they didn't bring the dogs back. They left the dogs there. So you know what the Cambodians and the Chinese and all these people did? They bred those dogs into the Aboriginal dog, which is like the Thai Ridgeback that goes back into Africa. Actual fact, bred those dogs that was left by the Americans into those dogs. And then they made the red dog and trying to say, oh, well, the red dog has been in existence for a long time. They've been in, that's a lie. Those dogs are German Shepherds, Doberman, and then like I said, that Aboriginal dog cross, the Thai Ridgeback cross. Good looking dogs, but you can tell. Don't run that ancient, don't run that to me, man. Because that's not going to work, man. It don't work like that. You got to show me artifacts and all that stuff, and you can't really do that. Like I said, that other stuff happened. You can see the sable and the black and tans in those dogs. That's indicating of German Shepherd and Rottweilers that were left behind. Come on, knock it off. Dog traits are very important. Very important. Dog history is very important, but just learning history in general is very important. Just even the basics, because like I said, dog history and human history goes hand in hand. And with dog traits, I'm gonna get into that in a minute. In the next segment, which would be part 7. Hold on.